Placing ourselves in the line of fire. Data collectors, have you stopped to think about the everyday ways we don't see how we place ourselves in the line of fire? Every time we resist the nuance to humanity, the messiness, the free will of individuality, and in doing so, we miss ourselves. We miss the moments that can bond us, unite us, imprint us with more core memories. But as long as we stayed distracted by the VECNA energy, the ants, automatic negative thoughts of our minds, they'll continue to infiltrate our perception. That's why having access to very superficial forms of dopamine, such as validation by someone else vibrating at the same frequency as you, in the comments section online, or in a video millions of views, and it's discussing the same trauma wound you have. Bashing a man, bashing a woman, and it made you feel seen. This right here is the sickness. We don't realize how dangerous having something in our own hands where, instead of sitting with the very thoughts, we are in the endless loops of processing everything. Is that not like the bell Pavlov used to condition the dogs? Over time, that consistent behavior of allowing what's in our minds to essentially chokehold ourselves. Many of us are talking to ourselves in our own heads more than we are with other people in reality. We sit with the same mental images of a story, looping our version, your version. Nuance to a nervous system that vulnerable will see anything that is different as a dismissal of their version. The more I observe human behavior, the more I see how drowning in our own suffering story serves no one, not even ourselves. We keep ourselves in a prison, needing everyone to validate our version of the pain, not seeing the selfishness behind how that robs others of their version. Now another loop begins. Yet many don't see it. You can't when you are in it. That's the point of Napoleon Hill's book, Outwitting the Devil. When you are drifting, you are lost to the path of getting back in alignment with yourself. Many of us know what we need to do. It's the doing of it that gets really hard. So we start listing all the disorders, chronic issues, the systemic injustices to fill the gap of the doing, not realizing that listing them all keeps the wounds in your fresh mind. And it just becomes, insert DJ Khaled voice, another loop. Another one. Another one. Oh no, another one. Ah! Now we're drowning in all these loops of justifications for our behavior or lack of. We get in our own way and we know it. Remember, we all individually make up the people. If the world is a mess, well, it's made of the people. The systems that have caused harm, we, the people, are also a part of. Think about it. It's your legal counsel and their team, the microaggressions that live between the jury and the judge, or even the judge and the lawyer working your case, the professor and the student, the veteran employee and the new hire with fresh knowledge and a highly supported approach. We are afraid of being left behind or replaced. So anyone that feels like a threat to us is then automatically projected onto, discharged onto, displaced onto, as if they are factual, Judge Judy style. Despite the amygdala forgetting we are at work and it doesn't have eyes, so it's counting on us and our differentiation. Again, our differentiation, our ability to differentiate, to guide to the truth, to what's actually happening and not what's being projected from the hippocampus archives, meaning the past. So, what I'm trying to say in this section is we do not see the repercussions of our beef with the people at work and how it impacts our work performance, specifically those people whose performance is working one on one with clients, patients, somebody else, like that's your service. There's an impact. So, let's take a moment real quick. Let's play with an example here, okay? I want us to look at how we, the people, actually build the broken systems we essentially complain about. Okay. It doesn't always look like a big formal policy that causes harm. So sometimes it can just be unaddressed human leakage that no one feels safe to name or even address. And I'm telling y'all right now, there's a lot of us, a lot of y'all out here in the world who are going through it in the workplace. I don't know about y'all. I don't know how many people have watched Grey's Anatomy. I don't know how many people have watched shows where you can see the impacts of toxic work environment stress, and the impacts it can have, potential death, especially if you're working in a hospital dealing with all this stuff, all this undercurrents of passive energy and chaos. All right. Now, in this game, let me get back on track. I'm trying to find my place. So, characters in this. Her name's Violet, the customer, the client, the patient, whatever floats your boat. All right. Staff member A, staff member B. Now pause for a moment, okay? Notice how you know nothing about A and B. Do you notice that? There was no details given. Not their roles, job description, background, gender, age, none of it. Because it doesn't matter. This isn't about those identities and labels. It's about the relational space and what happens within it when emotional energies arise. Let's pretend this case with Violet really triggers something inside staff member A. Staff member B is taking that emotional leakage from A, personal, and as a result, their beef essentially causes Violet to lose out on intentional effort and the outcome she needed for whatever services she was seeing A and B for. Is that clicking? Now, let's do a somatic check-in, the lot of us real quick. Raise your hand if you've ever had work-related stress that has caused insomnia, anxiety, depression symptoms, loss of motivation, no appetite, increasing appetite, back pain, jaw pain. Let me know how many of us have experienced that. How many of us have experienced work-related stress because it wasn't necessarily the job, it was the people in the job. Raise your hand. All right. Now, how many of us can be honest about how our professional performance was during those moments of high stress? Ever look at how your work performance gets neglected in high stress in the workplace? Now, what happens to people in Violet's case? Well, she loses out due to a dynamic that had nothing to do with Violet at all. Maybe because forms didn't get done, deadlines got missed. All these staff A and B issues got bypassed because of the stress response and the friction. Now, it can be all types of scenarios, and it's literally because no one's willing to ask a question. Hey, what's going on? And trust me, sometimes even asking questions doesn't get you anywhere. Trust me, it doesn't. They're just going to tell you everything's fine, and then they'll tell three other people a whole different thing. And that's where we just have to let go, man. We want to control the narrative. How dare they tell us lies? How dare they go tell people these. If the people want to believe secondhand information, that's when we have to just let them. Okay, that's something I had to learn. And What good does it do stressing yourself out about what other people who have no impact on your life think about you? If we really zoom out far, far, far out into the Milky Way, into the planets, and we're looking down at our little speck of our little self and everything that we are drowning inside of our head, okay? When we go to work, it impacts because there's an emotional leakage. And especially now, because a lot of us, we're suffering in silence. So now let's zoom out or let's zoom in for how close we are to this angle. We're in the let's say you're dealing with someone in the custody dynamic. You're calling what's custody board in XYZ state. Woman that answers your phone, she has attitude. And it wasn't because of you. She got an attitude because she saw that staff member B and she was like, "Mm." And her nervous system got activated because of whatever it is that they got going on between each other. And so when you get on the phone, you're irritated a little bit because you have been on hold for a long, long time. And you might be pregnant. And you also might be stressed out because of all your layers in this situation. We're feeding off the emotional leakage and we're over the phone. Just like that, people in the position of power here, people in our roles, we discharge a buildup onto the people. We, the people. Now, I went on another tangent. So let me find my way back. Because essentially, what I'm trying to highlight here is how we still impact each other in ways that we don't even realize because we are in our pufferfish energy, our egocentric loop. You know how we throw out that word narcissist? This is when we're engaging in some narcissism. We all have narcissism meters. Some people's meters are exploding right now. That's none of our business. It is our business to focus on ourselves. That's difficult today because of the need for control, because the control feels like safety. But can you see how reenactments that we go through in our families show up in the workplace? Look how personal biases, workplace conflicts, it all spills into work itself, in itself. So, not just how we show up at work, but how we give our services to the people that give us a job to, like, that's the reason we have a job. So, if you are a teacher, for example, right? Now you're snapping at the kids. And the kids are like, what is going on with Miss whoever? Miss so and so is cranky today. Right? We don't notice. We bypass, even in the workplace, as long as it doesn't impact us in the workplace. Oh, whatever role we're in. Oh, I'm going to cut corners here because I don't want to deal with it. I'm going to not do this paperwork on time because I just don't feel like it. And you don't realize the repercussions because some of the people on the receiving end are doing their end of the deal. They're doing their deadlines, they're doing all of it. And it's the staff members, whatever it is, that's a blanket statement for fill the role. It's the effect that we don't know that we have on each other. Sometimes it can cause death, especially if you're like doing surgery and you're not in your head right. Right? Think about people who do that are driving things, semis, planes, all the things. Talk about like us just using vehicles, man. We have to have a duty to be responsible behind the wheel. And some of us, no, I don't know what's going on with some of I don't know what's going on with some of us, but we are choosing not to be safe behind the wheel. And we want to act like that's not narcissistic as you take lives of other people because you don't want to have some call an Uber. Are we kidding? This is the world that we're living in. So you guys want to point out the type of narcissists that only make you feel good because we could go real deep into this. Now, I want us to go back to this example. It has nothing to do with what our nervous system is perceiving, yet our perception is what dictates how we move through the world. We see it out on all like I forgot, let me reframe. We take it out on the call line workers, right? We're calling whoever we got to call, right? I don't know about you, but I have no patience for calling places and having to talk to a robot. And, where's a human? And all of that's chaos, right? And sometimes we get really frustrated. We take it out on them. We're yelling, we're cussing them out. You don't even know what they had right before they clocked into their shift, right? We're taking it out on the custodians that are keeping our environments clean, the truck drivers that we cut off on the highway because we're impatient. We forget that they are the ones that are delivering our goods. How many of you thought immediately after hearing that or reading that, well, the truck drivers, dot, dot, dot. See, as if whatever we say within the rebuttal justifies. We have become a society of graspers, grasping for what we can to justify harm done to us or others in our tribe. We do it even in the smallest ways, especially under stress, especially towards our loved ones. Let's look close in the micro. Maybe we are in a streak of not getting good sleep. Maybe our back is hurting. Maybe we're on our menstrual cycle. We are stretched thin because of outside demands, kids, finances, work, whatever it is. We each get pulled emotionally into emotional states that leave us feeling moody, irritable, apathetic, angry. The safety to speak is about having the safety to be in moods other than moods that are deemed socially polite. The customer service effort gets to come off like a bra after a long day, okay? The type of relief, but with emotions. We get to come as we are where we are. We can have RBF without our partner thinking we are mad at them. We don't have to walk on eggshells with our emotional hygiene, especially on dirty days. We all have dirty days. That's the point, isn't it? We must be accountable of those dirty days and own them, name them, give grace to ourselves, our partners, our family for being in an emotional dirty day. Does that mean take abuse? No. If we keep extreming, we're going to have a conversation that breaks that down because I'm starting to think people are labeling everything abuse now so we can just bypass the topic. But that's for a different time. I don't want to squirrel. But when I work with couples, we always have compassion for the children when they cry, are moody, have tantrums, or even when they hit. We can excuse it because, well, they're tired, they're hungry, they're sick, XYZ. However, when our partners are cranky, snappy, or in a mood, we deem that as unacceptable. We don't come with the same grace. Remember, the child in us didn't just vanish. Where'd it go? It just got taller for some of us and hidden under the stress of adulthood. That child comes out effortlessly when we give ourselves moments of joy. But that's a different topic, okay? Can you see how we have the ability to give the patience? See, that's the muscle, patience. Ego wants to focus on characters in the game. That's not what we're looking at. That's the distraction. We're looking at the muscle, the neural pathway in the brain, which is patience. Breaking what that down. What does that look like for you? We have that muscle. We are selective in where we exercise it. We exercise it with our children. I can hear you now. We'll get there. But you choose not to because he's an adult. She's grown. I shouldn't have to. Who said? Who said? Humanity is messy, moody, and irritating at times. Scratch that. Most of the time. We all have an emotional battery that starts to die, and the emotional frequency shifts. We forget that shift is felt externally by others, especially those that are close to us. And sometimes we often discharge on the kids or on our partner, the people around us. We can see this at scale in the macro, especially online. I have been making it a point to get back on track with my spiritual routine, prayer, meditation, gratitude, but most important, physical movement and mobility. I think maybe as I almost enter my 35th level of life in exactly 2 months today, July 3rd, baby, the importance of body movement, though, is something I cannot take for granted. And it's very easy to, especially tonight, or not tonight, but like lately these days, it's just so easy to neglect your body, especially if you have a sedentary lifestyle. Movement has to be a choice. It has to be ingrained in the system of your day, at least for myself. Anyways, let me get to my point. I don't know about any of y'all, but these last few months have dragged my ass, tested me in ways that were severely uncomfortable. I also feel a shift. And there's this shift that I feel, and it's on social media. More people are waking up to the upside down reversal. We can clearly see how many are prioritizing follow count over professional ethics, accountability, sequential structure of certain dynamics, what's considered a degree. But anyways, honeybees, zoom out farther than that. That's all noise, remember. The cognitive conditioning to our neural pathways. That's the area we're looking. We got to have like our special little 3D glasses for this, right? We are already a sick and mentally unwell society. We're plugged in like VECNA's tentacle thing to the screen. We drink and drink what the algorithm tells us, as well as the news outlets. We believe anything we see, even if we didn't see it with our own eyes, and even if we know that AI exists. Differentiation is not just a necessary skill, it may just end up becoming a survival skill necessary for navigating the new world that is trying to develop. Cognitive shortcuts, straight to labeling, diagnosing, and bypassing to justify ourselves or at least distract attention from the truth. Our inability to allow others outside of ourselves their truths because we aren't secure in our own. We can label ourselves experts just because we decided to, and we have the followers to justify it. Can't we see, though? The farther we get away from community, the farther we stay othering everyone around us to protect ourselves from ourselves, the more we get in our own way. Think about it. In reality, when true crisis occurs, natural disaster, I have seen people jump into help and rescue mode, regardless of the very things we use to divide ourselves. Doesn't that show you how it's all ego noise? Over time, the work gets more clear. The ability to differentiate, hold nuance, and still stay rooted in yourself. Exposing yourself to difference allows you the ability to get closer to your own values. You get to disagree and still be. It's a wild concept, am I right? Don't worry. I'm in the practice with you all too. This month, we'll explore concepts that we can actually try. Start putting into practice strategies to really work on pause. If we don't know where to begin, then let's just start with the art of doing and saying nothing at all. Something I know I too can work on. All right. Till next time, data collectors.